Let us explore a mind control versus meditation, the battle for mental freedom. Please chant with me. If the first noble truth was the pervasive nature of suffering, or more accurately, stress, then the second noble truth is its cause or actual exacerbation. Evolution has gifted us with a dopamine-oriented system in our underbrain that rewards for procreation with fleeting feelings of pleasure. Good morning, Shivi. It also rewards for finding warmth when it's cold, shade when it's hot, water when we're thirsty, food when we're hungry, and rest when we're weary. Why, for all these things keep us alive long enough to pass on all traits. And that is of primary concern to our genes, the puppet master behind these scenes. The religious folks sometimes describe the primary drives of this dopamine-oriented reward system as pushing, pulling, and clinging. That's weird. Let's go back over here real quick. Well, let's stay on track. We're just crass enough to prefer the 5Fs. When exposed to anything being or phenomena... Take two. When exposed to anything being or phenomena, deep within our viscera we seem to ask, should I pack this, feed on this, fight this, flee from this, faint before this, or fawn over this? Yes, this mechanism aids in our survival, but a life defined only by survival is rather shallow and unsatisfying. You see, we also have an oxytocin-oriented system in the basement of our brain that rewards cooperation with feelings of fulfillment. With this system, take two. When this system is our default mechanism, life is pretty sweet. But sometimes we get stuck in our dopamine-oriented system and life becomes, as Thomas Hobbes insisted, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. In his third noble truth, the Buddha offers us liberation, but liberation from what? From the tyranny of our dopamine-oriented survival impulses. Freedom from its job of tyrant and instead its relegation to the role of mere tool. Harmless, benign, harmless, benign, and at times even useful. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Having concluded our opening lesson, let's shift gears. It is Obi-Wan Kenobi Wednesday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation in a manner unique to autism. I've done all this so that I could become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. So let's work primarily with the latest iteration of very easy meditation. Please chant with me. Whatever comes, may all beings let it come. Whatever stays, may all beings let it stay. Whatever goes, may all beings let it go. We begin with the first of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Allow me to remind you, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window before the end of class. Do it as soon as the question pops into your mind. We begin with the first of 5 crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. Each time we let's try this again. Each time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access our sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of a spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. But notice what? Notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. We have evolved to notice all manner of things, from the external to the internal, from the physical to the mental, from the pleasurable to the painful, from the interesting to the boring, from the glorious to the grotesque. But what are we to do with that which we notice? Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to automatically access our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord structure. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release of that which we noticed during our previous inhalation. Therefore, in coordination with our inhalation and our exhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and as well as the one-syllable verb is, that we might better notice mind's antics and relax into its non-graspable nature. We turn now to the second of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. In harmony or coordination with our inhalation and our exhalation, let us vulnerably notice mind's antics and then relax into its non-graspable nature. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. So Shivi wrote, "Hi Lama, can the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system be seen as almost the yin and yang representation of the brain?" That's an excellent theory, but no. So I will elaborate in a moment. So what I want to do now is tap this button and tap this button. Okay, so this is a very functional breakdown of yang and yin. So yang is rigid and yin is flexible. However, bearing that in mind, during each inhalation, when we access our sympathetic nervous system, we are able to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is quite yin. During our exhalation, when we access our parasympathetic nervous system, we're able to physically relax and mentally release, which is very yin. Now, if you're looking for yang, then look at the amygdala. When activated, the amygdala is a seat of anxiety. And when we're anxious, we tend to be very rigid. It's also the seat of rage and aggression, which is very yang, which is very rigid, which is very controlling. So one of the things that triggers the amygdala is exhausting our prefrontal cortex through excessive active analysis and through excessive active focus and excessive active analysis. You might say, well, then is the prefrontal cortex bad? No, it's not. It's useful, but it depends how it's used. If it's used as a tool, a peripheral tool of our centered spontaneity, it's amazing. But when it's a tool of our scattered spontaneity or the indulging of our controlling tendencies, then its use becomes unsustainable. Consider, if you will, Albert Schweitzer versus Jack the Ripper. Both were physicians. One used the tools of his trade to save lives. The other used the exact same tools to take lives. So the question is not the tool, but the way in which they are wielded. So the prefrontal cortex is a fabulous tool, but when it's wielded from a place of being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, it is unsustainable. However, when our centered spontaneity wields it in a manner that is flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, then it is quite sustainable. I hope that makes sense to you, and thank you for an excellent question. Please let me know in the comment area or the chat window if my explanation was comprehensible. Welcome to the third of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the heart region of our chest. And let us practice mindfulness and meditation in coordination with our inhalation and our exhalation, silently and passively noticing mind's antics and relaxing into its non-graspable nature. You're welcome, Shivi. There is a lag between OBS and YouTube. I know of no way to speed that up, so I apologize for any inconvenience. Welcome to the fourth of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the tip of each of our 4 fingers upon the great knuckles of our right hand, and then rest this palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the region of our throat that feels as if it tightens just before we cry. We cry is kind of like a tongue twister, isn't it? Let us practice mindfulness during our inhalation and meditation during our exhalation as we vulnerably and passively notice mind's antics and relax into their non-graspable nature, in harmony with our silent and mental recitations of this and ease. Welcome to the fifth of 5 mindful crease counting meditations. Let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the crown region of our head. Let us practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. During each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as we vulnerably notice mind's antics. During our exhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease as we relax into mind's non-graspable nature. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Together, let us practice right now. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's morning meditation class and group practice. Whoops, that's a mistake. In about 9 hours, I would like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.